Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's ready to dive in like he's going into Cato's hot tub. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Big Brother Celebrity live recap here on a Wednesday night, a newsy night here on the Celebrity Big Brother recap. And what a great one. Of course, back with me, the man who has been watching the live feeds nonstop for a week straight now. Oh, I mean, they came on Thursday? It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm doing well. I was enjoying the episode, and then I saw Kato Kaelin in a hot tub, and I went, ruh-roh.
Yes.
That
Okay.
not deserve that big of a laugh.
Yes. All right. We are so fortunate tonight because we have such a great guest here with us. Of course, we watched her in this very house over the summer, part of the historic Cookout Alliance. It's Hannah Chaddha is here. Chaddha, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for.
Yes. Okay. Great to have you here with us to talk for a little bit about what you're seeing on Celebrity Big Brother. Okay. Chaddha, what's been new for you here post Big Brother 23?
Sorry, just wanted to turn my phone.
You've matched us.
Like
yes.
Yes. So that's a good question. I'm back in school now. I'm getting my EMT license and also getting my master's. I have just a couple months left of that. And then it's going on to med school. Also, I just moved to LA, so I've been training a lot for dance, and I'm hoping to make something out of that too.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, I'm very busy, but thank you.
We also have some big updates from the house that we will talk about in just a little bit. So we will for everybody in the chat who's wondering, we will get to some news tonight.
Yes, lots of news.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Chaddha, we know that, of course, that Todrick has many fans from the Big Brother 23 cast. How has it felt to watch now your friend competing here in Celebrity Big Brother?
I have no choice but to empathize with my family and my friends. I thought my experience was hard last summer, but being on the other end of it, watching a close friend of mine be in the house playing my favorite game and his favorite game, it's stressful. Oh my gosh, just seeing like some of the criticism that he's getting online, some of the praise he's getting online, I feel like it's not directly affecting me, but I'm going through it right along with him, if that makes sense. So I apologize to my family and friends for putting them through that last summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough thing. I feel like it definitely goes underreported, the amount that that family members have to go through in terms of the online chatter, because it's like, you know, this is a person that you care a lot about, and they're participating in this thing, and you want to like pay attention and support them, but like everywhere in that environment is just a constant barrage of potential negativity.
Exactly. And on top of that, this is Celebrity Big Brother. So all of them walked into the house with baggage and images and negative publicity and positive publicity. So anyway, it's definitely been a lot as his friend to watch him go through it. But I'm also very, very happy for him because I know how big of a fan he is. So he might be different from these other celebrities in the sense that he's really relishing the experience. He isn't just there for a check. He knew exactly what he was signing up for. He got advice from a whole bunch of people before going into the house. So I'm happy for him, and I can't wait for him to watch the season back and hopefully, I don't know, just being a super fan, I hope that he gets to, you know, see some of his highlights, and then maybe he can acknowledge where he went wrong and how he would do in another season if
he wins
to come back. I don't really see that happening, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm very opinionated, so I guess I'll just give it to you right now. I think that Todrick's best chance of winning is next to Misha, and I think that Misha's, well, actually not best chance of winning. I think Todrick's only chance of winning is sitting next to Misha, and Misha's only chance of winning is sitting next to Todrick. And that's why they're the perfect final two for each other, because it really could go either way. But I know how these celebrities are, and especially these celebrities who have never seen the show before and don't know what's going on with the game in the house or any of that sort, with the exception of like Kirkpatrick and Shayna. So with that being said, I think that all of these celebrities are going to vote based on who they like more. And these celebrities have made it very clear that they aren't the biggest fans of Misha and Todrick. And then you also have to, I'm sorry, I'm rambling here, but you also have
you're
to
doing great.
Thank you. You also have to keep in mind that when these celebrities are evicted, they actually get to go home and they get to watch the show along with the rest of us. They get to go on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and social media, and they get to see what their fans are saying, and they can very much be swayed by their input. So if Todrick's sitting next to Lamar, Todd Bridges, Shayna, I think that that person is unfortunately gonna win, just because I don't think that the fans will want their person voting for Todrick.
Now, Chaddha, you're outside the house, though. Could you potentially, outside of the house, could you campaign for Todrick with the people? You've got some clout in the Big Brother streets. Or do you? That would be violating the sanctity of the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will definitely campaign for Todrick to win AFP.
Yes.
But I'm not going to try to influence these celebrities who to vote for it. Because one, are they going to care what Hannah Sweet, the coach of Chaddha, has to say? Probably not.
Hey, we saw Mariah shout out the cookout the other night.
She did. That was, oh my God, that was so surreal. I was like, an Olympian knows who we are. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, no, that was heartwarming for me to hear, because I think even though I didn't win or come close to winning with riding with the cookout, at least we meant something to a lot of people, and we were able to inspire a lot of people, including an Olympic champion. So I guess hearing her say that just reminds me it was worth it. But moving on to Todrick potentially winning the game. Of course, I'm hoping that he wins the game. He's a friend of mine. I want to see him do well. I know how much he loves Big Brother and how bad he wants it, because it's so much more than just getting a weekly check or a stipend for him. But also because I'm a game player, like you said, I'm not going to compromise the sanctity of the game. I'm not going to be out here campaigning for fans to try to change the jury's mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that made sense.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, living through Big Brother OTT, that was an audience vote as a primary function of the game. Getting anywhere near audience campaigning one way or another is just losing battle. It's very toxic very quickly.
Exactly. So I would rather just stay out of it. But of course, when it comes to AFP, yeah, I'm going to be like, vote for my friend.
Yeah. Okay. Chaddha, what have you thought about Todrick's game to this point?
Good question. I think that Todrick is playing a great game for a condensed season of regular Big Brother. But that's not the same game. That's not even anywhere close to the same game as a regular season of Celebrity Big Brother. So I think it's apparent that his gameplay is very out of place in comparison with everyone else in the house. And I think that's part of the reason why him and Misha are on an island and have been alienated by the rest of the house. Now, I'm definitely not claiming a victim complex for Misha or Todrick. I mean, they've been in power for 67% of the game thus far, but I just think that's maybe why there's a disconnect between Todrick and some of the other house guests, because the other ones don't really know what's happening. And Big Brother is all about adaptability. You could be, the most likable human being. You could be the smartest human being with the highest IQ. Those aren't necessarily the people who win the game. I think that Big Brother comes down to adaptability, and the best players are the best at doing that. That's what gets them to the end. And I think that Todrick, when coming into that house, could have maybe been like, okay, well, these people don't really know what's going on, so let me dial it back. And it's very hard as a super fan to do that. very, very hard. We saw it with Frenchie. In the first couple days, I would slip up and say things that I probably shouldn't have said because I was so geeked to be in the Big Brother house. And I think that's what Todrick's experiencing. But also, I want to recognize his strengths. I'm not trying to hate on Todrick. I think, one, he's obviously aligned with the right person. If you would have asked me a couple days ago, I would have been like, oh my gosh, he picked the wrong side. But he must be doing something right because Misha's been HOH not 2 weeks in a row, but she's won every single HOH competition that she's played in. So as of right now, I would say he's on the right side of the power, quote unquote. And I think that outside of the game, he's definitely more, or not outside of the game, but like in the house, outside of the actual game, he's more likable than Misha. I think he's more entertaining and he makes all of the house guests laugh. And that's what these people are looking for. They're not really evaluating who's a bigger threat, who's a bigger target. They don't know what any of that means. So if it comes down to him and Misha, I think he's chosen the right shield to stand behind. And I'm hoping that he makes it far. I want him to win. I really do.
Mm-hmm. At this time, I want to talk about some big news and get your reaction. So I just want to give the audience a heads up. We're going to talk about something that will definitely come up in Friday's episode. It's not exactly the results of a competition or anything like that. So, okay, just giving you a countdown. And, we don't need to play the spoiler song and embarrass ourselves in front of Chaddha, okay? But we're going to talk about something in case you want to get out of here. Okay, you got a couple more seconds, but so Taran, during the episode tonight, some big news came out. A few people noticed that something was off in the house.
Yes. So the feeds came back from the veto competition, and somebody was missing. And there was talk about what Misha asked, what is the protocol if somebody is not here anymore? And you're like, uh-oh. And then later we got a little more confirmation. They were talking about how, Catan being out of the game really throws a wrench in things. Wait, what? Catan out of the game? Oh no. And they have talked more and more about this. It seems as though Chris Catan he's gone. He's not in the game anymore, likely for good. Don't know what happened, if it was a quit or if it was a medical issue or what, but he no longer appears to be in the game. He was
too good for this world.
Yes. I don't think I have ever loved a house guest more than I've loved Chris Catan. Like I was about to change him to my profile picture, to my lock screen. Some of my, a group chat that I have with like half the house guests from BB23 is called the Chris Catan fan club. Like I love him so much.
He
was too good for his own good.
He told the house, I think it's my time to go.
I know.
They didn't believe him.
I know. I really hope that nothing drastic happened that caused him to leave the game. I know he was feeling miserable for a minute. I just wish that it would have happened before Mariah went home.
Yeah. Well, look, Chris Catan, he says he's going to do something. He does it. He makes things happen.
Yeah, he makes things happen. Now, is it possible, Taran, that he was sleeping and just wandered out of the house? They'll find him and put him back in.
I mean, I don't know. I think that's the thing. I think they're convinced they're not going to find him again.
Okay. The reason why I have to give Chris Catan his flowers is because I think that I was playing a very similar pre-jury game to Chris Catan, and I'm not afraid to admit that pre-jury I was not that strong.
Chaddha, did you eat as much cake as Chris Catan?
I did. I did. No, I really did because it was Alyssa and Kylan's birthdays during those first couple weeks, and I did. I was notorious for eating like 7 meals a day, and that included 7 slices of cake. So me and Chris Catan are one and the same. We're interchangeable players, if you will, and I'm proud to say that. He took my pre-jury strategy and refined it.
When are we getting the cake eating competition between the two of you?
I'm in LA.
It has to be in the middle of the night though, and with no lights on.
That sounds weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have my people call Chris Kattan's people.
Yeah. Taran, just real quick, that Chris Kattan leaving the game, does that change the game board in any meaningful way?
Strategically, not too much beyond just one person being gone. Schedule wise, theoretically, it could change things. However, the way that they schedule out Celebrity Big Brother is that in the very end, the person who wins like the final 4 HOH evicts 2 people at once to choose one person to bring to the final 2. I assume that the purpose of that is for this exact situation where now there's an extra person gone. They can, if they want to, maintain their exact schedule that they've planned and just have the normal final 3 HOH take one person and evict one person if they want. So I assume that's what they're going to do.
Well, do you think that they would get rid of the double or no?
I mean, I like I said, I think, basically, like, so in the past, when you win HOH at Final Four, it evicts 2 people at once. If they just change that to evicting one person in that one spot, because it's not even a double eviction, it's just you win it and you choose and you evict 2 people at once. So if instead they're just evicting one person, then they can keep the exact schedule that they've had up until that point.
I'm sorry, I meant like, do you think that they would keep the format of doing a final 4 on finale night and then instead get rid of the double and just have like a regular episode?
I mean, that's certainly possible if they were planning on doing something like that. But I think it makes more sense to just go straight to a final 3.
You're right.
Well, but don't get confused with what makes more sense and what they'll do, because I think that they like having as many people as possible in the house up until the end. I think that's part of the appeal of, not to say that it doesn't get a little boring when there's like 3 people left in a regular season, let alone in the Big Brother celebrity season when people are already not super active in the house. I could see them wanting to keep as many celebrities around for as long as possible.
Yeah,
being sort of like a mission statement of a Big Brother celebrity. We need to have as many celebrities in the house as long as possible, even if the double eviction might provide a little bit more juice. But we'll see as far as the scheduling goes. Now, do we think that Chris Kattan, if he did leave in a quit situation, will they let him participate in the jury voting? You think not?
No, I don't think so. So that probably means that they're going to have an audience vote.
Right? It's possible, right? Yeah, we haven't, even though there have been plenty of celebrities that have quit, they were all voted out on their quit. We've never had a situation on a Celebrity Big Brother like this. And it may also depend on how he went. Like if he quit, that might lead to one scenario. If it was, a sort of a medevac of some sort, then maybe that he would still be allowed to vote. I mean, even if it was a quit, I mean,
who cares? Let him come back for the finale.
Give Chris Kattan his flowers.
Give him his flowers. That's right. And Taran, had he been complaining about anything medically? Medically speaking, of course.
I mean, generally, he wasn't doing super well. I believe Misha let him sleep in the HOH bed, which was nice for him. But obviously, lots of trouble sleeping. It's all sorts of issues. Not one thing in particular. I think that would have like completely taken him out. But there's plenty of things that could have.
Okay. We will come back and talk more about Chris Kattan, of course, throughout the show. Chaddha, I know that we only have you for a little bit of time tonight, so I just would love to get the download from you on everything else you're seeing in this Celebrity Big Brother game. Do you have any strong feelings about the house guests besides Todrick?
Okay, I guess we'll just go one by one. Todrick, stated my feelings on him. Chris Kattan, I love him. But on a serious note, he hasn't done anything this season. The only way I see his absence affecting the game board is, I don't know who won the veto as of now. But
we'll get to that later on in the show. Yeah.
Gotcha. But with Cynthia and Carson being on the block together and one of them being the target, that's what Misha expressed. I think their only hope of saving both of them. Well, actually, it depends on who wins the veto. And like you said, we'll get to that. But if one of them does come down, the only hope of both of them staying in is if Chris Kattan goes up, because he's made it very clear that he wanted to leave. But now with Chris Kattan not being in the house, that does make it a bit harder for both Carson and Cynthia to remain in the house come the end of the week. Moving on to Carson and Cynthia, I love them as people. They don't seem like they take the game that seriously, which I don't feel like they're making a mockery of the game. So with them, plus they're just so likable, I think it's refreshing as a fan to see that. They don't take themselves seriously. They're always laughing and joking and doing their hair and nails and whatever. Game-wise, I don't really, strategically, not super big threats. Socially, I don't think they're playing a social game, but they're naturally magnetic people. So if one of them does find themselves in those final two seats, it's going to be hard to beat them. Kind of like Marissa and Ross going back to season 1.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I think that's why Todrick is coming after Carson so hard, because Todrick is very much thinking long-term right now. And that might be a mistake because you still have to get through like 7 evictions before you can even be in final 2. Right now might not be the optimal time to take out Carson, because I don't think Carson was coming for him. And also Carson, yes, he's a fairly strong competitor, but it's not like he's this strategic mastermind. I think if Todrick was like, listen, you and I are good, we're friends, then Carson would be like, thank you so much, Todrick. Now let me get back into the bathtub. So that's Carson and Cynthia. We're missing a couple other people. Yeah. Oh yeah, Misha, she's a comp beast. She definitely does what she does best in those competitions. But the thing about the first HOH is you can really set the tone of the season, and you have the opportunity to really, I guess, ask for people's loyalties and maintain people's loyalties, because you're that first pillar of power. And I just feel like she did not use that to set herself up well. And that's a little disheartening. It's almost like a Frenchie HOH. The only difference is she was able to keep herself safe last week by the skin of her, well, not really by the skin of her teeth, but she was able to keep both her and Todrick safe last week by the skins of their teeth. And then this week she won again. But if the audience has noticed, every single person has talked about wanting to target Misha and Todrick except Todd Bridges. So I definitely think that Misha could have used her power in the first week wiser. Todd Bridges and Lamar, they don't know what's happening. But I'm glad that they're on Todrick's side, because I want to see my friend do well. And I think that's the house, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I feel like that we didn't talk about Chris and Shayna.
Oh, I forgot about them. So
was that an omission?
Huh?
Was that an omission?
No, I completely forgot about them. I knew I was forgetting people.
Okay.
But I forgot. With Chris Kirkpatrick, I was not particularly excited to watch him play the game. I thought he was kind of lying about being a super fan. You know how some people are like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan, and they've seen one episode or like one clip from one episode. I thought that was him. But I feel like he knows what he's talking about. And with this game, there's definitely a difference between knowing the game and understanding the game. And I think he has a very good understanding of the way that Big Brother should be played. Where he messed up, though, last week, he told everyone about this plan to backdoor Todrick, but then he didn't go through with it. If you're going to tell someone outside of, your core alliance, which is Shayna, at that point, you have to go through with it, because it's going to get back to that person. And if you don't go through with it, that person's going to come back and target you. So even if, you realize that you messed up and targeting Todrick wouldn't be the best thing for your game, you have to go through with it anyway, because at this point, everyone and their mom is aware that you want to backdoor Todrick. So he messed up with that. But of course, I'm not mad. And then Shayna might just be my winner pick right now. I think Shayna's going to go far. She has a phenomenal social game. She's definitely playing like the Andy Heron RHAP floater game. flawlessly, in my opinion. And she's just likable and relatable. I feel like she gets along with the guys and the athletes and also the girls, and she's just trustworthy. So I love me some Shayna. Shayna is definitely in her rodent era. And I mean that with the utmost kindness.
Sure. Now, Chaddha, we saw Shayna trip going up the stairs. They just switched out the spiral staircase that you had in the Big Brother 23 house. I thought that the idea was this was going to be safer to have the stairs instead of the spiral staircase.
These celebrities, they just do everything backwards. So nothing surprises me about them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Rob, imagine what would have happened if it had been the spiral staircase. Could have been even worse.
Because I guess so. There are gaps between each of the steps in the spiral staircase, or really just any spiral staircase. So imagine if she would have slipped through one of those cracks.
Oh my God.
So bad. Oh my God. Both her and Christy Tan would have been out.
We could have lost two people.
Both of them.
Oh my God.
Finale night on tonight's episode. At that point.
They had to shorten the season.
That's what I'm saying. Just make tonight's episode finale night, since people are literally dropping like flies.
Yeah.
We did get a tweet from Sharon Tharp, who said, as expected, CBS tells me Chris Kattan's absence will be addressed in Friday's show. So that if you need more official confirmation that he is in fact absent.
Yeah, but absent isn't quite the same as out.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that, like, theoretically, it's conceivably possible that that if he needed to leave for a period of time and then come back, like, that's not completely out of the realm of possibility, but not super likely.
Well, yeah, there is some precedent that apparently that Kirkpatrick was taken out, but I think that was a COVID issue, and I think that Omarosa had gone and got medical attention in the first Celebrity Big Brother. But again, when we're if we do have this COVID bubble, that it seems like especially unlikely in this scenario that we would take him out and then bring him back in.
And there's been further talk on the feeds about like adjusting the strategy now that he's gone, and how things have changed. So I think it's at this point it's pretty locked in.
And Sharon has a clarification. She says that was my wording. They said it will be addressed in Friday night's episode. Okay, so the absence was from Sharon, not officially from CBS.
Gotcha.
Okay. I was going to blanket for Chris Kattan not being here. But again, I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of you, Chaddha. Very sad. He, look, we got like these episodes, he brought a lot to the table.
A lot of cake.
Much.
He was carrying, for a man with a bad back, he was carrying the show.
Listen, just like Big D carried the cookout to the end, Chris Kattan was carrying. He really was.
Yeah. Okay. We have to make sure we give Chris Kattan enough credit.
Give him his flowers.
We'll give him his flowers. Chaddha, did you have any thoughts about Mariah that we saw go out of the house on Monday night?
Yeah. Mariah was definitely a fan favorite of mine. She's more relatable to me in. Ooh, my phone battery. Sorry, guys. She's relatable to me in the sense that she's young. She's in her 20s. And not only that, but she's much younger than the rest of the house guests. So right away, I was like, okay, you and I were the same. Not saying that I was like so much younger, but after Brittany went home, like I think the age difference between like me and Alyssa, who's the next youngest person, was 4 years. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Either way, sorry, I just got a text. So sorry. Oh. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I could just relate to her on the age thing because there was such a big gap between myself and the next youngest person in the post-jury phase of the game. And then also with her being the only Asian American and with myself being half Asian Indian, that was another, I guess, characteristic of hers that I was drawn to. And I just want to thank her for her eviction speech. One, she shouted out the cookout, which is insane that she even knows who we are. And two, I can definitely relate to being the only one of myself in a room, in a space. That's what I've gone through. And that's what a lot of people of color have gone through their entire lives. So I think I said this on my Twitter, but Mariah is really just a testament to how important visibility is. So yeah, Mariah's awesome. I didn't see her going far in the game after she was nominated in the first week. I kind of saw her being the Britney, where she was going to keep getting used as a pawn until eventually she would be targeted. And that happened sooner rather than later. And from watching the feeds, I noticed that she wasn't really forming those bonds and connections with her fellow house guests. And that broke my heart for her because I wanted to see her do so well. But in a Celebrity Big Brother season, that's more social rather than strategic or comp-based. Those bonds are your currency in the house, and she just wasn't making them. So I didn't see her longevity being that existent. And that made me sad because I really liked her.
Yeah. Was she throwing shade at Carson when she said that everyone was much older?
I don't think she meant it in a mean way. I don't think so. She doesn't seem like a shady person.
I think she was genuinely just trying to express that, like, that was a difficulty for her.
Yeah. It was a little bit like when Evie mentioned, like, what was it? The people on the other end of the older people. I forget exactly what they said.
I don't remember the word.
Yeah.
She
similar.
Yeah, she said something like, "You guys, this has been hard because you all are so much older." I was like, oh.
Yeah, the later years. Thank you, Bill.
You're taking it as an insult. That's, you know.
I mean, objectively speaking, it's true. Like, the difference between her and Cynthia is 27 years or 26 years. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Later days was it? Yeah.
Yes, later days.
Yeah, the later days.
In the later days. Chaddha, anything else that you're seeing here in this Celebrity Big Brother house?
Is there something that I should be seeing?
No, you're the expert.
I'm most definitely not the expert. That's you guys.
How weird is it that you were just in that house this summer and now there's a bunch of celebrities there?
It's the strangest thing. Like, imagine if you guys got video footage of other people living in your childhood home. Now, I'm not comparing the Big Brother house to my childhood home or anyone's childhood home for that matter, but kind of similar in the sense that you're looking at the screen going, wait, why are other people in my house? Why is Carson sleeping in my bed? Why is Chris Kattan sleeping in my bed? That's mine. Don't touch my food. Don't touch my kitchen, my fridge. It's weird. And like, to see Julie talking to other people.
How dare she?
I'll have some words. No.
So, Chaddha, if Todrick, comes out of the house and has, connections with this cast, if there was one person that you could potentially meet from this cast, maybe it'll be many. But who would be the person that you might most be looking forward to?
Ooh. Oh my God. I have 4 people. 5 people. This whole cast is just so likable. Carson's been around for a long time, so I would love to meet Carson.
Is this shade? Is this more shade for Carson?
No, objectively speaking, he has been around for longer than I've been alive.
A minute,
so I would love to meet Carson. I would love to meet Cynthia because I'm a Real Housewives of Atlanta super fan. I would love to meet Mariah because she's just so sweet. And I feel like her and I would actually get along and have things to chat about. And then last but not least, my savior, Chris Kattan. I love to meet him. I love Chris Kattan.
Is he going to be attending the after party at Todrick's house, do you think?
I hope so. Honestly,
I think he's in LA, Chris Kattan.
Chris Kattan for All Stars. I don't know where he is, but I will move to that city. I will fly to that city just to meet him.
You find
Yeah.
Where else could he be? Yeah.
I hope he's on
Okay.
Cameo. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll just order a Cameo.
we got to look him up. All right.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you so much for coming on and catching up with us and giving us your takes on everything that's going on. Anything you want to tell people who are listening or watching?
No, not really. I'm just doing what I do, and that's studying. I just got done with my midterms. So I have a bit more time.
How'd it go? Good?
Yeah, midterms went very well.
Okay. Nice job.
Thank you. I'll just be working on my dance training. And then best of luck to the people who either already applied for Big Brother 24 or are going to apply. If you have any thoughts about doing it, just do it. You have nothing to lose.
Okay. Chaddha, you told us before you came on that you are a Survivor fan as well. That I hope that you are keeping up with Survivor 42 as well. Got a cast today.
Yeah, so I actually know Chanel. Chanel is a friend.
Oh.
I'm not. Wait, am I allowed to say that? I think so. I mean,
don't tell us how she did. Yeah.
Well, I honestly know nothing about her.
Yeah.
I've met her quite a few times because she's close to Kemi. And I stayed with her the last time I was in NYC. So rooting for Chanel. I've also talked to Hai a couple times. And then Shan's on the other side of the door right now. She's here with me.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
I know.
What a wild world of reality TV.
When I become a fan of a show, I become a fan. And I am determined to meet people.
You're watching out for the humming, right?
What? Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Chaddha, thank you so much for coming on with us, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. Okay.
Yes. Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome.
Okay. All right. Take care, Chaddha.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Okay. All right. Taran, we still didn't talk about the episode at all. Look at us here on a Wednesday night talking about the episode.
Yes.
Okay. Taran, let's I guess talk about tonight. I thought a little bit of a sleepy episode.
Yeah, I felt like it was a bit of a dud. It didn't help that like the feeds had come back and there was all this excitement about Anne and everything, and it was just like, who even cares what's happening on the screen? So
let's just do a little bit of a quick run through of what happened in the episode, and then we'll do the hit the spoiler song for real. We'll talk about the veto and everything else that's going on. But so I guess we get a lot of resetting of the Misha and Todrick. They think that Carson is a threat. Carson and Cynthia feel like that they need to win. Misha apparently was annoyed she didn't get to play in the veto. Was that a big thing on the feeds, Taran?
I mean, not a huge thing. I mean, it was a very bad draw for Todrick. If those of you that don't really keep up with the feeds too much, there was like a big plan to backdoor Todrick if Kirkpatrick had won the veto, and that veto draw was very bad for Todrick. And then ultimately Shayna wins. And in this episode, Kirkpatrick is using the excuse of like, oh well, we couldn't trust Catan with the vote, but that doesn't really track because Catan literally was like, please vote me out so that Mariah can stay. Of course he's not going to vote Mariah out. He would have voted Todrick out. So it doesn't really make sense that would be the reason to not go through with the move. Yeah, but the question is, can you trust Chris Catan?
Can I trust you?
I don't know. And we can't. And the answer is we couldn't.
Catan, can I trust you?
Yes.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Also going back to the veto competition, something that we had a question on Monday night. This is from Carson.
You're trying to lose. Or do you need to see an ophthalmologist?
Yeah. You trying to lose? Kirkpatrick, I was trying to win.
Yes, he claimed as much on the feeds as well. He said that should have been my competition anyway, because I'm so used to playing in stadiums and looking for the one I love Chris Kirkpatrick sign.
The one, yes. The one that's out there. This is Ali Lasher. It was like right there with the sign. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what a big surprise that we got here. Taran, did you know this? That we were going to get a guest cameo hosting the HOH competition?
I was not prepared for this. No, I was not. Of all of the past celebrity house guests, I was not expecting this.
Yeah, took me out. Here we go.
What up, celebrities? It's me, Kato Kalin.
What up, celebrities?
It's me, Kato Kalin. Oh man, it's
yeah.
I mean, is Kato Kalin the celebrity version of Dr. Will showing up in a robe?
I guess so. Boy.
When you put it that way, right? Like
Kato's hot tub. So Kato, who famously does not have a house, we built a whole competition around going to Kato's house to go in Kato's hot tub.
Yes, come join me in the hot. Take off all of your clothes and come join me in the Kato Kalin hot tub. Now, given some of the issues Kato Kalin had with his stomach in his stay of Celebrity Big Brother, I don't know if I want to be in a hot tub with him.
Sure. Who can forget?
My belly, hurty, colon, fully. Need helpy. Medically speaking, of course.
Yes. Okay.
Oh man. I mean, him and Lamar in a hot tub is just a real recipe for disaster. I'm not taking my clothes off to get in there.
Yeah. Melissa's in the chat, not happy. I promised Melissa I wasn't going to play it anymore.
Full jacket, snow pants, everything. I need protection.
Yes. So I forgot how weird Kato Kalin is. Like who is this character? Listen to him.
Kato, hot tub party. Whoa! I said hot tub. Whoa! Hot tub.
I forget, he's like the Joker.
Oh man, yeah. He's can we get him to play the Jared Leto? He's out. Get Kato Kalin.
Kato Kalin is in. Oh my god. Get into Kato's hot tub.
Kato hot tub, yeah.
Woo! Yeah! Ha ha! Hot tub. Did Kato Kalin they bring him in? He got in the tub and they filmed this like right before. You think they did the veto? Or because they have the backyard or the HOH, or because they have the backyard. The backyard might have been like this for a while.
They must have done this because they have the backyard closed off at all times.
Yeah,
and they just have that little piece. So
what was the turnaround time from the live HOH or the live veto to Monday night and them doing this?
That's true, right? Because they had the veto set up. They could have had those booths like anywhere. It was just kind of like at the edge of the thing. They could have had the whole HOH set up on the other side of it.
Okay. All right. Kato's hot tub. Here we go. Get to push the buttons with your different body parts. Did we not have this one in Big Brother 23? I feel like that we had this in Big Brother 22 for sure.
Yeah. I don't remember. I don't think I remember seeing it in 23, but it is, we've seen it a few times. It's a bit of a staple. And it was pretty funny because I was watching live on Twitch and the chat was like, oh, Taran, like, what's the trick to this one? And I was like, the trick to this one is never take anything off the buttons, if possible. You might think that you can do things quickly. Just quickly take your thing off the button and then undress really quickly. No.
Yeah.
As much time as possible, as long as you're holding onto a button. And then immediately, like, nobody held onto the buttons except for two people.
Right. Unless you could do things 60 times faster than another person, then if you were the Flash, maybe you could do this.
Yeah. Like if it's like, okay, I can take off a glove in 10 seconds while holding onto a button with my teeth, or I can take it off in 3 seconds by letting go of one button, then 10 seconds is still a full 20 seconds faster than 30 seconds of 10 times speed. So always be holding on to the buttons.
Oh, always be holding the buttons. Okay. So Todrick is up first. Todrick has a secret weapon.
The good Lord hath blessed me with a badonkadonk that's out of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a Reddit post of one of his recent music videos, and it heavily featured his badonkadonk. So he's not lying.
Booty.
Yeah,
yeah. Thank you, Booty. That's right. Okay. So Todrick has a secret weapon. Chris Kattan comes out. Chris Kattan is already in slow motion and takes his everything off the button. We know Cynthia's time was like 70 minutes.
yeah.
Somehow Chris Kattan had a time that was like they could not even calculate. They
Well,
couldn't fit on the screen.
I believe it's because he never took off the long johns. He didn't complete his task.
Oh, okay. I thought that he was like didn't want to be down to his underwear and chose to go in the.
I mean, I believe that was the reasoning. I think he was like, I'm not getting. He's like, I know I've lost already. I'm not going to humiliate myself any further. And to be fair, when you read Max, it really doesn't even look as bad as 70 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So then Todd Bridges again, not pushing any buttons. Cynthia, at this point, I'm like, did they even tell them the rules? Like they must have, because a couple of people knew the rules.
Do they think
maybe they saw the show?
Do they think this is like 1.5x? Like no, this is 10 times. If one button 10 times the speed, you have to be 10 times faster. It's really interesting. I feel like perhaps maybe at least with this crowd, they just needed the timer in front of them to see just how quickly it went up as soon as they let go of a button.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? Okay. Then Misha does it. She seems to be doing pretty well. Shayna goes, and Shayna is having some trouble. She realized after the fact that she might have had the wrong strategy.
The old reliable butt strategy.
She missed it.
It's I mean, it's always reliable.
Would that be the back door, Taran?
That typically, it's you go for the back door, and then you can thank you, Booty.
Thank you, Booty. Yeah. Okay. And then Carson, a little bit of intrigue, maybe is Carson seemed to be okay. I gotta push the button, keep the buttons down. He ends up being 10 minutes, and congratulations to Misha.
She did it. And if it wasn't her, it would have been Todrick. So
yeah. Okay. Carson is getting a little sick of her reign.
Misha.
Misha.
No booty kissing for Carson.
No thank you booty from Carson to Misha. Okay. All right. So we see some planning about maybe could we get maybe Chris Kattan out this week? Well, actually, yes. But it's not gonna change anything.
Yeah. And it was wild to me just how much they actually expected this to happen. That until Cynthia overhears Misha talking to Kattan, they really were like, yeah, that's there it is. She's got to go after Kattan, otherwise that would be selfish.
Yeah, we got a segment about Misha and Todrick that really going for. All right, let's see if we can get the audience on rooting for Misha a little bit here. I did
Life
was
this.
hard for Misha.
Yeah, I mean, Misha is kind of a villain in the house, but she's just playing the game. So she hasn't really done anything that bad, and I do think that she has an interesting story here, and I was really glad to see it. I find this a lot more interesting than will they put up Kattan? Like, no, of course not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we get to Chris Kattan is going to ask Misha, You talked about this on the live feed update today. Wants to know, am I going up on the block?
Can I trust you?
I don't know. But then he says he can. Not going on the block.
I mean, talk about an honest man, right? Catan doesn't know what he's capable of. He's a powerful dude, and he can't always control that power. And so, if you ask him if you can trust him, I don't know. I could be gone in a day.
Yeah. Had Misha put him on the block, and then it's like, okay, there's my exit ramp coming up Friday. Would he still be in the house right now?
It's possible, but we don't really know exactly why he left. So maybe not. I think it would also be. Oh, go ahead.
Do you think he will do exit press? I know that tomorrow Mirai is doing her exit press with a few different outlets. Do you think that we will see Chris Kattan exit press?
I think it depends on how he left. Are they pissed at Kattan for leaving? Was it something that had to happen? Are they kind of okay with it? Maybe it didn't have to happen, but maybe they're like, okay, you can leave.
Right.
And then also is he gonna care to do it? Right. So
Right. Yeah. I guess it really comes down to is he in the diary room? Like, look, I have debilitating back pain. I can't be here. Or it's like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it here. Not enough cake.
It's the cake. Look, the only reason I was here was because there was still cake left, and gone. All right,
it's gone. It's gone. Okay. Nominations. It's Carson. It's Cynthia.
Pretty simple.
Boom. We do see the little interesting that Todrick is maybe we should put Chris up. Misha's like, it has to be Carson. This is a little bit of a fork in the road for these two, who have been kind of in lockstep. And I do think that Chris is the bigger threat here. I think I'm with Todrick on this one.
Well, Kirkpatrick is a bigger threat to Todrick. Carson is a bigger threat to Misha. Kirkpatrick wants to go after Todrick. Carson wants to go after Misha. And this sort of new vibe, this new feeling from Todrick came from Todd kind of giving him a heads up that morning that, hey, you can't trust Kirkpatrick. And then he kind of, with that information, started looking at the behavior of Kirkpatrick and was like, oh, wow, yeah, he has not given me great vibes. And so he was just bringing that information to Misha for the first time. And she's kind of taking it in. She's pretty on board now with the idea that, Kirkpatrick and Shanna, they've got to be next. They've got to be next to go. So, if something happened with the veto, it's possible that we could see Kirkpatrick up there, but still unclear.
Okay. All right. You mentioned the veto. Okay. Why don't we then let's hit the button and let's talk about the spoilers and then anything else that's going on here in the world of Celebrity Big Brother. If you are going to leave now, our next live recap will be on Friday night, 2-hour episode coming up on Friday. We will have the slop coming your way. Maybe it might be our eulogy for Chris Kattan coming up. Chappelle will be my co-host. Josh Wigler. We'll talk Wig Brother. And Nicole Cesternino will join us, Taran. Nicole has told me she has had not one, not two, but 3 run-ins with cast members from Celebrity Big Brother this season, and she will share them with us on the slop.
I hope one of them is Kattan.
Maybe. I you know what? I will confirm at this hour. One of them is Chris Kattan.
Oh,
it's a good story. It's a good story. Okay. All right. In the meantime, let's go ahead and check in on our Celebrity Big Brother live feed spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Okay, I was going to sit on it. Thank you, Booty. Okay. All right. Taran.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about the veto. We had the veto tonight. Interestingly, we have a 2-hour episode coming up on Friday night, and we're not doing a live veto.
Yes. They've got to spend.
What are we doing for 2 hours?
We're gonna have to spend a half hour on the veto instead of a quick live one.
Oh my god!
So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So they played the veto, and Shayna has won her second straight veto.
Veto queen.
Veto queen.
Yeah.
And not only has she won this veto, but she intends/wants to use the veto to save Carson.
Save Carson. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, who would be the replacement nominee?
Now that's the tricky part. So there are a few things to keep in mind here. One is that I talked a little bit this morning about how Lamar actually seems to be on the side of, let's take out Misha.
I think it's on the side of, hey, I want to leave too.
So she's talking to Lamar about taking that shot and being on their side. So Lamar is involved in all of this. And so from her perspective, the idea is use the veto on Carson, and hopefully Misha will put Todd on the block, and then they will all vote Todd out. And that's kind of the initial idea, right?
Okay.
But go ahead.
Can I ask you, do we know when the veto ceremony will be? Will we potentially have the veto ceremony live on Friday night?
I don't think so. I think we will have the veto ceremony tomorrow.
Okay.
So we'll likely see this play out tomorrow. But so the idea is to get Todd on the block, and then they can all vote Todd out, and then it will only be Todrick left on the other side competing in the HOH. As long as they beat Todrick, they can get Todrick and Misha on the block, and they can get Misha out. Now, the big problem with this plan is that I think there's next to no chance that Misha puts Todd on the block if Shayna uses the veto, especially on Carson. And I think they kind of anticipate that. They are, and now granted, I'm watching the episode and I'm on this podcast, so I have not been able to fully grasp everything that they're talking about. But from my understanding is that they do understand there's a decent chance that Kirkpatrick may go up on the block as a replacement and not Todd. And in that situation, I believe Kirkpatrick will be voted out. And he kind of knows that and is perhaps willing to accept that if that's the risk that they need to take. Now, the thing is, they don't need to take any risk if they just go to Misha and say, so if I use the veto, who will you put up? Which I assume they will do at some point, but I don't think they've done it yet.
I guess it really depends on when the veto ceremony could be. I'm just trying to think about the production schedule, and in a regular season of Big Brother, the veto episode is on Wednesday night. Veto ceremony is Monday. I feel like that there's always 2 days. The Sunday episode, it ends on Friday night. I feel like that 48 hours is typically the turnaround time for getting the ceremonies into the show.
Typically, well, I think the competitions, especially, I think they do the live veto because they couldn't play the veto fast enough after the nominations. But I believe that they do the ceremony for the veto on Thursdays. I think that's what happened last week as well, although they had extra time last week, so that might not have been the case. But I'm pretty sure that's the way it goes. It's not like the ceremonies require that much editing. So
I just don't know what on earth could they do for 2 hours.
I mean, same thing they did last week. It's this. I mean, they've got the same amount of content.
At least we had Mon Wan.
That's true. We did have Mon Wan.
We had Mon Wan. Did we do the veto live? No, I guess not.
No, they had they played it out last week.
But Taran, last week we had 10 days of footage from them that we only used for 2 hours. I feel like we've used up a lot of the gold, right?
I mean, I think that this has been a problem in Celebrity Big Brother from the first one. I think we have always been kind of bored by the 2-hour episodes.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Anything else of note to highlight tonight?
I mean, the main thing is what's going to happen here. In my opinion, with Shayna winning the veto, it's looking like either Carson or Kirkpatrick will be leaving. That's my guess. But there's so much talk about Todd going up, and I don't know. I don't understand why they think that's such an option, unless that was actually talked about. I just can't imagine that Misha, and certainly that Todrick would allow Misha to do that. So then the question for me is, if Shayna understands that for sure Kirkpatrick would be the replacement or something along those lines, then will she still go ahead and use the veto? I would assume not, but it's who knows?
Yeah. What is the current status of the Misha Chris Kirkpatrick relationship?
So Kirkpatrick has did spend some time with, and they're saying in the chat, and I thought I had seen this, but I wasn't sure if it was the case. But Kirkpatrick, I think, is the one perhaps feeding that Todd might go up if the veto is used. But he went to Cynthia with Shayna there, and Cynthia was essentially like, Kirkpatrick, I don't trust you. You play the middle. And she had just been talking about, like, Kirkpatrick can go. If he goes up on the block, that's cool with us. We'll just vote him out. And so he went there, and Cynthia was kind of grilling him, and Shayna was kind of backing him up. And he was saying, look, I have played the middle, and I did know that you guys were going to go up on the block, but I'm choosing a side now, and I'm choosing your side. So I'm with you. And that's kind of where he stands with all of that. And he says he's willing to go against Misha and Todrick. And I believe him. I mean, he's more with Shayna than with anyone else. But I think he would still prefer to target Todrick over Misha.
Yeah. I guess the thinking is like, okay, well, if we don't tell her, then it doesn't give time for Todrick to get into her ear, that maybe they just won't talk about it.
Maybe. I mean, it would just I just don't there's no way she would put, I don't understand why anybody would think that she would put Todd up. There's no reason to, especially because Todrick has had this conversation with Misha about how Todd specifically was the one who says, like, don't trust Kirkpatrick. Todd is with us. He has no reason to lie. Kirkpatrick is against us. And she's kind of come along around to that thought process. So, it's interesting. I mean, if they just went for it, that could be the end for Kirkpatrick.
Okay. Anything else you want to say tonight?
I mean, it was
a couple of questions too.
Okay. Well, it was nice that the feeds came back and that we were actually getting some game talk, even though it was during an episode. It's I believe it was Liquidated who tweeted out some stats from the feeds bot, which tracks when the feeds go down, and I believe the uptime is like 30-something%, but after sleep and 50% feed cuts, we're at like 30-something% of actual uptime, and they've never been on for longer than either they've never been on for longer, or the average duration of the feeds being up is something like 50 minutes.
Well, Taran, perhaps is this sort of like North America, Paramount Plus strategy to sort of like really hit you hard here during Celebrity Big Brother, and then when Big Brother Canada starts, you're like, oh, this is so much better.
I mean, it has been getting worse and worse, especially since Big Brother All Stars 22. It was pretty bad there, and it feels like it's just getting worse and worse in terms of the amount of cuts that are happening. But this is definitely on an entirely other level. It's very difficult. Like if you're somebody that just like relies on the information that we give you or Twitter or whatever, you haven't experienced it. It is a significant change, and it's very difficult to watch the feeds when they're cutting so often.
Yeah. What do you think is, like, based on like the tenor of the conversation? Is it mostly they're talking about production, or conversations are not fit to be heard by the live feed audience?
I mean, that's the thing. It often feels arbitrary. It's like I was watching at one point, and there were two two sometimes what happens is instead of two different places on the feeds, it's all four of the feeds are basically the same scene. And during that, they just decided to cut the feeds on one of those. And so half of them were playing music and half of them were that same scene again. It was like, what? They were all just like, why did you need to do that? And it's often just people like hanging out, just doing whatever, or just talking game, cutting away, cutting back, like cutting to people who are just doing nothing, and then cutting from them who are just doing nothing into music again. So the longest time the feeds have been up, 57 minutes. The average time that the feeds are up, the average amount of time that the feeds are on is less than 6 minutes.
The average time is less than 6 minutes.
5.9 minutes is as the average time that the feeds are up for before they cut.
Okay. Well,
wild.
Taran, thank you for your patience. Okay.
It's just trying to get this across here to those that are not watching.
Okay. All right. Let's take a couple of questions. All right. Let's see. This is one from Tara. Tara Teeth says, why was the sound so bad during Cato's segment? I think it might be hard to get good audio with a hot tub. A lot of gurgling.
Yes. Big Brother has to deal with this all the time. It's tough to get the good. Not only is there lots of sound from the hot tub in the water, but you also can't be like wearing a mic properly when you have no shirt and you're getting
Yeah. Okay. Question from Jen. Now that Shayna won the veto and she's to take down Carson, who would Shayna benefit more by voting and keeping? Cynthia or Lamar?
That's assuming that Lamar.
Well, what are we doing? Are we with that? If it was Lamar up on the block against Cynthia?
I guess so. I mean, assuming she put up Lamar, which I don't think she would, but I guess is not complete. I think it's a little bit more likely than putting up Todd, but I don't think she would do that either. Between Lamar and Cynthia, I think you probably just keep Cynthia, even though Lamar is with them right now. It's very new, and who knows where his true loyalties lie. He's maybe a little more capable of winning competitions for you if he is reliable, but I don't think you can trust that quite yet. I think the real question is, if she has the choice, she knows that if she uses the veto on Carson, Kirkpatrick will go up. Then the decision is, do I want Kirkpatrick as my ally or do I want Carson as my ally? And that's a little more interesting because I do think Carson is a little bit better at the competitions, at least from what we've seen. At least that would be my guess. But Kirkpatrick is a lot more loyal specifically to her, and he's a lot more beatable in the end. So if I were Shayna, I think I would stick with Kirkpatrick and I would not veto Carson if I knew that Kirkpatrick was going to go up.
Yeah, Carson talked about Trace Amigas in the episode, which I'm assuming he's referring to himself and Cynthia and Shayna. How real is that?
I mean, for Carson, I think it's as real as it gets. He has a final two specifically with Cynthia. He's most loyal to Cynthia. But beyond that, it's Shayna, and it's it's Shayna. She kind of turned on them at one point, but he doesn't really have anyone else anyway. So then it's Shayna. Whereas Kirkpatrick is his number one is Shayna, and she can definitely beat him in the end. Whereas Carson maybe not as much. So I feel like it should be a pretty easy decision in that sense. But again, she seems pretty dedicated to wanting to use it. I think part of it too might be that she didn't use the veto on Monday, and so it's like, am I really going to do that again? She wants to do something.
Okay. One more question tonight. Cupcakes says, if Todrick doesn't win HOH this week, what are the chances Misha goes on the block? Okay. How many people in the house would put Misha on the block?
So let's assume that, say, Carson goes home. Kirkpatrick, Shayna, Cynthia, and Lamar would all put Misha on the block. At least Lamar is saying that. Todrick and Todd would probably not. Todd, who knows? I mean, Todd definitely doesn't intend to put Misha on the block, but who knows what Lamar could talk him into? If maybe he could be pulled to the other side and see the light that Misha is a big threat. but with currently 8 players left, we're going to be down to 7, which means there's going to be 6 people competing. So 4 of those people would put Misha on the block, and 2 of them would probably not.
Okay. All right. Taran, let me tell you about what's coming up, and it's you. We've got tomorrow morning, Jacob Jones will be back for the live feed update.
Yes, Jacob Jones. We'll try and get to the bottom of this Catan situation. We'll figure out what's going to happen with this veto.
Is this the first Jacob live feed update of the season?
I believe it is.
Okay. All right. The season premiere of Jacob Jones on the live feed update coming up tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And then join us live at 6 p.m. Eastern for the slop. We'll send you out the link during the day for the patrons of Rob as a Podcast. If you want to join us live, that podcast we posted in the Patreon podcast feed only. Sorry, freeloaders out there. robasawebsite.com/patron to join in on the slop with Chappelle, Josh Wigler, Nicole Cesternino. If you have links or live feed clips that we should be talking about on the slop, send them our way. robhasawebsite.com/get-sloppy. All right. Oh, too soon. We got to change the picture. We can't have a Chris. I guess it's going to be Chris Kattan. Leave it. Maybe make it black and white tricky. Yeah. Chris Kattan. Au revoir. We will talk about his exit and much more Friday night for the big live show. Hopefully starting at 8.
Yes. That should be starting at 8.
Matt Scott and Frail Mary Kwiatkowski will join us this Friday night.
Should be a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Taran, last night you got into the stock watch with Melissa and Asia.
Yes. We had a lot of fun there with lots of sort of big picture talk and just discussion on the season as a whole so far, as well as rating these celebrities on their game, which was definitely an interesting experience as well. And the stock watch is open, realitystockwatch.com, if you want to go and buy some shares. Sam was telling me earlier that he went all in on Catan, but luckily for him, the market is not closed until Friday before the episode. So you still have a chance to get in there and change it up.
Okay. All right. Never go full Catan. Come on, Sam. You know that. Okay. All right. Survivor 42, Taran. You get a chance to take a look at the cast today?
I haven't looked yet. It's still a month away.
It is 4 weeks from today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 weeks from tonight, I'll be here with Stephen Fishback.
Yes. There's people that Hannah knows. It's great.
Yeah. All right. The cast of Survivor 42 is here. Mike Bloom and I reacted to what dropped today. Not a lot of real updates about the game, but we did learn the identity of the 18 new players that are going to be in Survivor 42. We gave our first reactions and a little bit of some predictions of what twists from Survivor 41 will be back for Survivor 42. You can check out our first reactions podcast. That is up now. And then tomorrow, Mike and I will begin going through the cast of Survivor 42 and listening to their interviews that they gave Mike Bloom. Mike and I will listen to the interviews that were sent back. We will hear the voices of the 18 players. We will be doing this in 3 episodes, the first of which will be dropping tomorrow. Taran, you get this. The tribe is called Ica.
Oh, that's promising. That's prophecy.
Yes, the rest of these peasants will be shredded by the Ica tribe.
Yeah, these podcasts are always fun. I like people listening to and giving commentary on interviews.
Yes,
I like
Taran, give me an editorial note. Okay, should Mike and I stop and comment on things as they say it, or should I write down everything I want to talk about and then talk about it at the end of each interview?
It's a good question. It depends on how long the interviews are, I think. If they're like very long, then by the time they finish, people will not care about the things that happened before. But if they're quick enough, then you probably just get through them. Yeah.
If people feel strongly about this one way or the other, let me know before we record. We're going to record the first one tomorrow morning and then drop it right away. Okay. All right. Who gets to stop and go? Okay. we have an Amazing Race episode. Didn't get to watch the Amazing Race because we were talking, but we will then be talking about it tomorrow afternoon. Jessica Leese, Mike Bloom, and I will get together for this week's Amazing Race recap. Be on the lookout for that. Plus, speaking of Puya, 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days, always a lot of fun every week to talk about all of the hot mess express going on over on 90 Day Fiance. And then tomorrow night after the slop, I'll be back with Jenny Autumn to talk about Joe Millionaire for richer or for poorer. Taran, there's 2 Joes this time.
Oh boy. Joe Millionaire makes me think of the show where they had to choose between money and love at the end.
Yeah, for love or money. Yeah.
That's still the same one.
It's a different show. There's a lot of that in the early 2000s.
I remember Joe Millionaire being like he was a secret millionaire and his name was Joe.
No, he actually was the opposite of that. They told the girls that he was a millionaire and he was actually a secret poor person.
Yes.
Yes.
I remember that. Is this the same show?
Similar. I think really neither guy is really that poor. But one guy is actually worth allegedly $10 million and the other guy is not.
Oh, and they have to figure out which one.
They don't know which one. They don't know which one is the rich person.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a wacky show. Joe Millionaire. Talk about Taran, you love Cats. Did you love the 2019 film Cats?
Can't say that I loved it. But I love the concept of Cats.
Mm-hmm. Can't spell Chris Kattan without CATS. So check out Robin Akiva. We watched the 2019 film Cats this past weekend. Check that out on Robin Akiva Need a Podcast. And of course, all the best moments of the week, catch them in one place on the weekly RHAP up. If you see funny stuff, fun moments happening, send them in. robbinswebsite.com/best of, and we will put them together for our best of the week podcast, the weekly wrap up. Okay. Taran, tell us about this week's edition of the Taran Show.
Nicole Maines, who is Screamer on Supergirl. I talked with her about her life, being an actor. She's gone through a lot. She was part of a big court case up in Maine, which is my hometown, or home state at least. And it was definitely it was a very interesting interview. So make sure you check it out.
Okay, check out Nicole Maines and all the interviews from the Taran Show. Then this Saturday, it's the 12th. It's the 12th birthday of Rob as a Podcast. So we've got a big celebration planned for 12 hours. The hosts of Rob's Podcast are going to be going live on our Instagram, taking over our Instagram with Instagram Lives all day long, 12 p.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. noon Eastern to 12 p.m. midnight Eastern. Follow at RHAP Grams to see many of Rob's Podcast hosts going live on Instagram, taking your questions and allowing you to come on and say hi. Even Taran Armstrong.
Yes, Melissa and myself will be on Instagram Live together. Neither of us have any idea what to do or what that means or how to do Instagram Lives, but that will hopefully just add to the charm.
How many hours did you say you did live on Twitch last year? I think you got this.
A lot.
Yeah. I think you're going to be good.
It's not Instagram, though. What do you do on Instagram?
The same exact thing.
Same thing?
Yeah. Except you'll be talking to Melissa. And then you can actually take people, other people on Instagram and bring them on the screen.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Yeah.
Come and join us. I think we're at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Okay. Here, let me see if I can bring this up. Okay. So Chris Kattan is posting on his Instagram. I saw this in the chat, and so let me see if I can bring this up. Or he's posting on Instagram. I saw that people were talking about it in the chat, and I was like, that doesn't look right. But Chris Kattan is already posting on Instagram, and I said, okay, this is fake because it's nothing about Big Brother. But here we are, and but 40 minutes ago, Chris Kattan posted this on his Instagram page.
Yeah.
I just met a girl named Maria at Maria Libri 38 minutes ago.
Who is this?
Who the hell is Maria?
Is this why he left? Did he meet Maria and was just swept away?
Who's Maria? Should I click on her? Like, hopefully it's not.
She
anything,
posted. She posted 2 days ago. Shout out to this guy, Chris Kattan. If I was stuck
is
in
this
that,
her? Maybe is this his girlfriend?
it must be.
She has her first profile picture is Chris Kattan.
Yeah.
It says a shout out to this guy. If I were stuck in the house, I'd be living it up Kattan style.
Yeah. It's got to be.
Maybe
something.
I don't know. Maybe maybe she was like a wall yeller and he left the house to go be with her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, maybe we'll find out more about Maria. Okay. All right. Catch the 12 for 12 this weekend, of course. I told you about the slop, Australian Survivor. Heard it was a good week of Australian Survivor. If you want to catch up with everything that Shannon Gus is talking about on our Survivor Global feed, Evie joined Shannon Gus to talk about Australian Survivor Week 2. We make it so easy for you to watch Australian Survivor plus Patron 5 for 5. We dropped a new episode of the Patron 5 for 5 last night. Everything in our Patron community, Facebook, Discord, and much more. That's all at robswebsite.com/patron. Of course, hit that subscribe button to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all of our podcasts that we do on video. And of course, every morning when Taran goes live with the Big Brother Live Feed update, you will find out about that when you hit the little bell. Then robswebsite.com/subscribe to make sure you don't miss the audio version of any of our podcasts as well. And of course, follow us on social media. I told you about at RHAP Grams for this weekend for the big 12 for 12, plus at Rob's Podcast on the Twitter and the TikTok for all of our RHAP content. Okay, Taran, what's coming up for you?
Well, like I said, check out the Taran Show interview. I just posted another video on YouTube as well on Taran's Quest. I talked about The Martian, which I read, and I rewatched the movie. And I told you whether you should read it or watch it or both or neither. And so you can find out. You can also find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. I'm watching the episodes live with all of you. And find me on Twitter at Armstrong Taran.
Okay. This was a fun show tonight. We had a guest come in. We talked the episode. Got a lot of live feeds. Covered a lot of ground tonight.
Yeah, it was unconventional, but you know, it was like a little bit of a spice, a little bit of a curveball.
Yeah, I like this. Like you know, we have like a Big Brother alumni come in, like 30 minutes, tell us what's going on, and then we get down to brass tacks.
The brass tacks, we got them.
Okay,
all the way from Big Brother 17.
Okay. Thank you so much for watching us. Check out Taran tomorrow morning, the slop, and everything else we have coming up on Thursday on Robin's podcast. Take care. Have a good one.